Hi all, Graham here. Last Saturday I attended Colours. It's a one-day show and it's hosted by Newbury and Reading Wargames Society, and it's ideal for me because it's about 30 miles from where I live. I walked all three floors with my camera. It's a bit bobbly, but it is what it is. Hopefully it gives you a real feel of what the Wargames convention is like. The tickets themselves are only £5. You can't buy them in advance, well at least you don't think you can, and at £5 that is really cheap for a top venue. The actual show itself attracts a good variety of traders, a lot of the big hitters in England anyway, so it's well worth visiting and seeing it for that. It's actually held at Newbury Racecourse and it's a wonderful venue. It's nice and airy, which was good because it was a really hot day, and parking was free as well, and there was loads of parking and easy to get into. Straight in the middle of the front door on the ground floor, and the first thing I see on my right hand side is Eagle miniatures, and I love these miniatures. They do some fantastic Napoleonic, Spanish in particular, and I've got a couple of units of those. Speaking to one of the club members on my entrance, I asked how many they expected, and they said sometimes you can get between 1,000 and 1,500 for a one-day show, which is pretty impressive in the UK. I have to be honest, with the camera I can only look at what I'm really interested in, but so I might skim up over some things. But on the right here we've got Wargames, and they've got a wonderful, looks like bolt action demonstration game, and also they're pushing their epic range, I think it was, for the Waterloo collection. I mean, this is 11 o'clock on Saturday morning. You can see it's starting to get busy already. On the right hand side again, I'm looking at what I'm interested in, Perry Miniatures, and look at all the box sets they've got. But more importantly, look in the background and all the lead they brought as well, all those lead boxes, really good, which a lot of traders don't bring that background stuff, which is fantastic. Perked my interest a little bit. Looked in this little display cabinet and look at the painted figures. 28mm, and I think they were Wars of the Roses, but you could use some of them for 100 Years Wars, which is kind of where I am. Athena miniatures, and I took a mental note of those. They looked really good, and highly tempted with them. There were quite a few traders there selling books, which is interesting. Osprey, and the going rate seemed to be £5, £6, £7, which is that a bit expensive? Not sure, but if you want that odd book, they're all there and you can find them. Now here's a trader that's doing well. Deep Cut Studios, they come to all the big events. I think they're from Lithuania, and they sell. Everybody's got to have one of these mats. Well worth it, and always bring loads of stock. And I know you can pre-order stuff as well, so a really good, useful trader. Very nice. Some very nice laser cut material here. I can't remember the name of the manufacturer. I think it's Blotz or something like that. Um, and yeah, you can just tell by the number of people here, and the trade that the business the traders were doing was great. Here we have Colonel Bill's, one of my favourite traders actually. Lots of painted stuff they sell as well as unpainted, and they sell at good price as well. I like them. Got a decent website, well worth a look, I think. The only shame of it was they had no 100 Years Wars French, which I'm kind of wanting more of, but hey ho. Great Escape games, one of my favourite games. Dead Man Hand, they they support really well. Lots of paints and lots of sprays and that, but they do some great figures, unusual ones as well, which are great fun to paint up. And yeah, if you're assembling a gang, it's kind of buildings as well. Well worth a look. And here they are, look, individual figures. I'm not quite sure how much they were a blister, but there we go. Here's one of my favourite traders, Warbases. I get a lot of my sabots from them, and I went to them and they didn't have the ones I wanted. But what they did was they gave me a card with a voucher number, and they said if you order it online in the next 48 hours, you'll get free postage and packing. So I did, and that's happy days. A very good trader. Okay, in the corner, we all need coffee to keep us going, and I had a coffee when I arrived. Costa Coffee. I paid £3.40 for a small Americano, and I paid it, but seemed a lot. This is Irongate scenery, and they had loads of bits and bobs and scatter. Look at these gravestones. I don't know if they're quite suitable for Dead Man's Hand, but I was sorely tempted. And again, there was some bits and bobs there that I might well revisit in the future. So yeah, nice one. Good to see Essex Miniatures here. They seem to have dropped off the radar a little bit, certainly for me. I mean, I've got an entire 15mm Napoleonic army of theirs. Well, actually, I got 3. Yeah, I always like them. A little bit stout, but good to paint up, and they always look really nice. So maybe I need to look at their 28s again and see what they've got. And there's Gripping Beast and Andy. Good to see him. I spoke to him only a week or so ago, a couple of weeks ago, talking about Grand Melee. And I think that's the ground floor completed. So here we are on the first floor. Bit more airy, bit more space, which was nice. Here we are on the first floor, and the first thing you're presented with is the bar. Excellent. And you can see what we got on tap. Carling, well, probably tap up with lemonade fizzed in, but I'm sure it's really nice on a super hot day like it was. At the far end of the floor, there was all the seating area. You can eat your sandwiches indoors if it was raining, but why would you on a hot day like it was? So yeah, there was a lot of people eating their sandwiches, and there was lots of food that you could buy there as well. Good to see another big hitter there, certainly from my world anyway, Atlantic Games, and they seem to have a special deal on for the show, which is always good. Yeah, I've got a few of their box sets in my Ancients set, so yeah, good to see them there. I don't think I've seen them there before, maybe not. Trader here on the left. He seemed to have lots of products for spray painting nozzles and bits and bobs like that, which is always good if that's your gig. Me, I haven't quite got that far yet. And if you walk out this door, look at the vista you got. Here's Newbury Racecourse. On the first floor, you can imagine this must be a great place to go racing. And of course, we could sit out on that balcony eating our sandwiches as well in the shade, which was very gratefully received. I certainly did anyway. And here we have another big hitter, Lard Zone. So the two fat lardies, they were there and they were showing their Grandi army. I think it's version 2. The guys at Reading were talking about this not so long ago, and not quite converted them yet, but there was certainly a show game on there. And there were other games there as well. I know Richard Clark the author of, or one of the authors of the Two Fat Lardy games. He was there as well. Battle of Cannae. What's that? That, I have to say, 6 mil or 2 mil, it did look really, really good. Quite interesting to play as well. Yeah, I'm tempted with that. Tempted. Okay, there seems to be a glut of 15 mil mini games, ADLG and Morte Glorium or whatever it's called. And this one here is a Peter Pig game, and they're releasing a set of rules as well. And they all seem to be on the same sort of rough size of table. And he's releasing this set of rules later in October. He was talking about it here, but I've spoken over him, so I do apologise. But there we go. If that's your bag, that's good. And look at this. Fantastic looking game again, 28 mil, World War II. And for all your little people needs, 6 mil. Bacchus were there, and they seem to have loads of stock, and they seem to be very, very busy as well, which was good. And there were people selling Victrix there as well. The missing trader, where were they? I mean, of all the ones, they were missing. Anyway, whatever. Last Valley were there. I know they sell a lot of their stuff through Facebook group. And they do some fantastic terrain. They're really popular down my Farnborough Club in particular. A lot of people buy a lot of their gear, and it is good. And I would say, although I'm not on commission because I haven't got much of it, it seems to be quite cheap as well compared to some of the other traders. I would say, as an overall comment, there seem to be a lot of deals, a lot of traders giving 10 or 20% off, and also you're saving on P&P. Anyway, second floor, more games up here, more interesting. And here's the bring and buy. The queue to buy and sell for me didn't seem that big, and in my rather limited bandwidth of interest, there wasn't much for me there. But hey ho, I'm sure. I know the guys I travelled with, they seemed to sell their gear they took with, and they were quite happy. Now here's a group here, the Society of Ancients. They seem to have a couple of games on. There were demonstration games, participation games, and this one here was a big battle using the rules of impetus, and they use this to recreate battles. So obviously they feel this one works quite well, rather than being just a game, but a recreation of the game. And I've got to say, this looked really fantastic. The guys that they showed that elephants on the table, and it was just gobsmackingly good. I mean, look at that, fantastic.
With a show team, I think someone said. The show team? Can you believe that comes to Red Arrows?
The main set of rules they seem to be pushing is Mortem et Gloriam. I think I said that right. And here is a 28 mil game, a smallish game, but yeah, they were showing the rules, which was good. But there's like a mini Morte et Gloriam set of rules they're playing, and I think they were doing introductory games and teaching people how to play them, Mortem Maxi or something like that. And this again seems to be a growth area in Wargames, 15 mil on 4x3 or 4x2 mats, smallish armies, and maybe that's the way future. Maybe I need to dig out my old hoplites and Macedonians again. Maybe, we'll see. Another competitor for the 28 mil rules, medium to big size games, bloody big battles. This looks some sort of African conflict, Zulus versus Brits. Again, it looked really, really nice. And this one was very interesting as well. Here it is, and this was to the strongest. Simon Miller, I think he was on the Plastic Crack Podcast Boys show on Monday night, and he was talking about this game, and here it is. And yeah, it did look good. Grid-based system, and it seems to be very, very popular, and it works quite well. Maybe I need to try that out sometime, give it a go. Starting to get a bit moist over this one. What have I found? Look at this. Oh, interesting. Liverpool Wargames Club, Saga version 2, I think. Look at this. They've got 8 battle boards. What have they got here? What have they got? Samurai. Now I know it's not the official Studio Atomics one, so it must be from somewhere else. But this looks fantastic, and I got to tell you, I sat down later with them and I recorded some footage, only 2 or 3 turns with them, and it did look good. This is another World War II shooty game, which was quite good. Aerial one. Oh yes, this one here, DBMM as I call it, DBMM. Massive, great big recreation, 28mm, and there were a few of the Reading boys there were on that one as well, and that did look great. Look at this. Now this is 28mm Vietnam. Look at the attention to detail with this. I absolutely love this. Really did. It was one of the most interesting games I've seen. Battle for Saigon, I think it was called. But yeah, it did look good. Really. And look at this helicopter. I know the plastic crack boys were talking about helicopters and Rubicon. That was a 3D printed one, but no less spectacular. At the far end, if you look over to the right, there was lots of tables set out for board gaming, but there weren't many people board gaming. But they set them out, and it was there. But back to this DBMM. Look at that game, really, really nice. And I have to say, lots of hoplites and Romans there. Nice. What a great show that was. £5 to get in, easy parking. Lots of traders, with the exception of Vitrix there. Lots of games to play. Yeah, there was no competition stuff going on, which is show, but well worth a visit, and I'll be going again there next year. I apologise about my shaky camera work, and also I apologise about my niche interest in things that interest me and things that don't. That's probably quite apparent on what I did show and what I didn't. Anyway, I hope you found this useful. As always, please like, subscribe, share with like-minded, and take care.